Welcome to Arizona at the second annual Sidewinders Showdown here in Mesa at Jesse Parker Field. This is Michael Simeone here with Liz Chambliss with a repeat of last year's championship weekend for the Western Ultimate League, now in its second year. Liv, we've got a repeat matchup of the championship game from last year. What are the teams going to be looking to accomplish today?
Yeah, Michael, so here we have these two extremely talented teams that went head-to-head last year with just a couple point discrepancies between the two. I think that Seattle is here to prove that they are still relevant, they are still at the top of the chart, and they don't want to hold back. And I really think that Super Bloom is going to take that to heart and really challenge that title.
Seattle's so dominant last year, did not lose at all. But San Diego played them as well as anybody in all of their matchups. What do you think was their secret to staying with this team and keeping those games as close as possible?
I think that Seattle, they really honed in on some of their biggest threat players, and they kept them on the field. They all kept their spirits up, and they had a really crazy sideline as well. And I think that they both have that type of energy too. But San Diego, they just didn't let go.
Yeah, and I think the way that the championship weekend developed last year, so much was uncertain about who was going to play or what those Final Four were going to look like until really the last game before the tournament itself. Full of surprises here. San Diego seems like they're playing with a lot of control from last year coming into this year. What do you think the conditions are going to play? How do you think that's going to play this afternoon here on this overcast day in Mesa?
Yeah, I know that last year they were in Southern California. There's always very different weather conditions. Today we're looking at 72 degrees Fahrenheit with a wind mile per hour at around 11. That's not too bad. It's not too crazy, but we are in a type of stadium atmosphere, so you never really know what the wind is going to be doing with the disc. I think it's going to be a little more challenging because the overcast is pretty bright on our end as well, so I'm really excited to see how that throws them off for a loop.
Yeah, it feels like here in Arizona, 11 miles an hour is never a straightforward affair. That we might expect some swirling wind. As the observers make their way to the field,
I'd like to respectfully acknowledge
and as we line up for the coin flip here, as the teams get ready, it's important to keep in mind that we're launching the second year of the league, which now has broken into two different conferences, the Northwest and the Southwest. And we also have the addition of a brand new team to the league, the Colorado Alpenglow, based in the kind of Denver metro area, but also drawing from players from across the kind of Rocky Mountain region. Liv, what do you look for when you're looking at the list of these teams? What are you thinking about in terms of matchups? Which ones are you looking forward to?
Honestly, I think that this rematch of the championship is going to be the exciting game of the day. I am also really excited to see how Alpenglow makes their way and makes a name for themselves in this league. I know that they have a lot of players from all around the western side, from all these different teams, and seeing them play together in the chemistry that they build is going to be really exciting.
Standing by now, waiting for the decision on possession. Seattle winning the coin toss. Trying to game out what will be the most advantageous way to play right now.
And San Diego will be pulling from
San Diego to start on defense, Liv. What do you think, if you had to guess, what do you think they'll bring to this first defensive possession?
I think that they're really going to hold back on some of their secrets they may be keeping, potentially, because it is the first game, but at the same time, I think there's going to be a lot of competitiveness between these two teams because they just want to stay on top. I think we're going to see a lot of just sporty aggressiveness and extremely talented and awesome defensive plays.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how Seattle responds. At the outset, they played with so much control last year. We'll see if they can maintain that into this first game. Speaking of the Alpenglow, It's exciting to have the Western Ultimate League have an expansion team just in its second year with so much talent and so much interest in playing for these teams and in seeing women's ultimate. Having a team come out of the kind of Denver, Metro, Colorado area seems like the next natural step for the league.
Agreed.
It'll be exciting to see as they lace up. Also, importantly, we've got other games going on today in Southern California. We've got LA versus San Francisco, and they'll be starting their seasons as well.
Right.
So whereas last year where we had all of the games to start off the season were all happening in Arizona, we've got a little bit of a simulcast going on where we're seeing some chips fall in different places. It'll be interesting to see as the weekend transpires which teams are starting to look like they're in a favorable position and which teams seem like they have work to do. Last year we had a couple teams who started slow who came on very strong. Oregon Onyx, I believe, dropped their first matchup last year if I'm remembering correctly, and then made their way to the final. Final tournament, that is, excuse me. We're looking at the second place team finishing last year for the Western Ultimate League in the San Diego Super Bloom, and they will be pulling to the champion of the Western Ultimate League for the 2022 season, the Seattle Tempest. The kickoff of this season in seconds. Liv, you've got to think the adrenaline is pumping right now with these teams. So much training and anticipation of this moment. And we're off. The pull delivered by San Diego, coming in around the 30-yard line. That's some pretty nice distance by Penny Wu. Seattle immediately on the attack. Pass goes wide. San Diego now with an early turnover. Picking up Kelly Iwamoto. San Diego attacking immediately, able to get those in-cuts. Several in-cuts in a row, but a bobbled pass.
Just barely missed that one.
Seattle back on the attack here with a bit of a lucky break.
Looks like we have some type of hybrid host stack going on, correct me if I'm wrong.
Looks like they're definitely using the middle of the field. That's Messner, I believe. Swinging across the field with a high stall count. Yeah, it's going to be defended well. That's going to be Kristen Fajunas. That's a great defensive stop and off the strength of a Team D. High stall count, high swing pass. That's an errant pass right there. You get the sense that they wish that maybe they had another second or two to make that choice.
Right, they just needed some more patience and some more open cuts.
Seattle back on the attack. Nice give and go option here on the sideline. In control, Seattle going for the end zone to Erickson. She's got it.
Jamie Erickson with the goal.
It was a good amount of pressure right behind her, but it just wasn't enough.
Seattle taking one or two possessions there, but looking sharp now.
Gellert on the assist.
It was a nice give and go to set that up. So number 13, Frances Gellert, with a terrific pass. Knowing your receiver, I'd say, Liv.
Yeah, that is always easy whenever the disc is just the connection is made like that. So even with all that pressure right behind you, it's easy up and grab and score.
Yeah, and here you've got Erickson just making that read on the back shoulder.
Yeah, it looked to be kind of a harder read as well, but didn't seem to be too much of a problem on her end.
Seattle pulling to San Diego. Coming down on the 35. Super Bloom centering it now, and they've had no trouble getting underneath for the first few possessions, Liv.
Right, it seems like whenever the disc goes up in the air, that's whenever they kind of struggle with bobbles or slight misses or misreads.
Yeah, Diaz swings it back and then trying for the underneath from the middle of the field. It's going to be a quick turnover. Seattle back in control, operating on the sideline. An offer streaking deep, but going to swing instead. Almost all the way across the field. A nice inside-out throw. Now they're in control on the break side. Back towards the middle, slicing through, trying for the end zone. Is it going to be another goal? Effortless. Excellent catch by Alex Diaz. Excellent cut by Alex Diaz.
That was some great connection, communication on the field, and it just didn't seem to stop. Very quick turnover and just right up the field.
Seattle looking sharp after that initial cluster of turnovers early on in this game.
Seattle is very known for their quick turnovers. They grab the disc, they know exactly who they want to throw to, and they make it happen.
Yeah, so much open space in that end zone. When you're looking at game plan, you have to think that San Diego wasn't expecting to go down 2 so early. They've looked so calculating on some of their offensive execution.
Yeah, here in the replay, she caught it right in the very back left corner of the field, but she made it work.
Yeah, again, Seattle making all the plays right now. And San Diego trying to complete some passes. That disc is going to be picked up, it looks like, by Hannah Walter. Who's going to walk it to the middle of the field, San Diego, number 37. Looks like some kind of junk defense, Liv, like they're trying to clog the middle of the field.
Right. Seeing a big look.
Here we are. We're going to answer by going to the middle of the field anyway. A big booming throw, and it's going to be a goal. San Diego responds with a nice away pass.
Stambaugh with the goal.
That's Lexa Stambaugh, who had a terrific look for her thrower.
She was wide open the whole way. I knew that deep throw was coming, and it was executed wonderfully.
Signs of life now from San Diego as it seems like they're getting into their game. Not really bothered by that zone defense.
No, not at all. It seemed to be broken pretty early on, and they just kept that momentum and scored in the end zone.
And that's WUL. We'll be pulling again for the Super Bloom. Let's see if the Super Bloom are able to get a turnover. Keep the game close, as has been their trademark from the 2022 season. Number 22, Kirkland for Seattle. Seattle searching the middle of the field.
Seeing some more lane blockage going on.
Yeah, Seattle content to dump it for now. Erickson looking. This exchange has broken the defense quite a bit. Now they're looking ahead of the defense, but it's just gone wide.
Just needed a little more step on that, and she could have had it.
Baroma not able to catch that one. Had such a great weekend here last year in 2022. San Diego trying something, but Erickson is there. Stall count is 7 seconds in Western Ultimate League.
And usually around stall 3 and 4, that's whenever you start looking for a dump. So they only have a couple seconds to make an upline pass.
Seattle content to move that disc back to the middle of the field. Been swinging the disc well so far, and here we are again, going to that break side, away from the force. They've got wide open underneath. It looks like somebody's streaking deep.
And a dump. Upline cut, upline cut. Looking.
Just so smart and careful. Garrity able to offer that. And now back to who else? To Jamie Erickson. But I want to go back to Lexi Garrity, who was streaking deep on that first combination and just opened up the field for her teammates.
Yeah, there was a lot of open space, and as I have stated multiple times before, just the continuation and the momentum of both of these teams in general is amazing.
Yeah, Garrity, just such a dominant player here. And
she's definitely creating a lot of open room and a lot of holes for her teammates to fill.
Yeah, you can see Erickson trot back there. The chess match had been won. by the time the thrower was looking downfield. 3-1, Seattle on top of San Diego. We got 7 minutes left in this quarter. Seattle looking for another stop here. Disc has gone up, not quite the same distance as we've seen on some previous polls. The wind seems to be a culprit. San Diego, let's see if they can get some passing going.
We are walking that disc back to the middle. See what kind of defense gets set up here.
Lamoto here scanning the field. She's got someone open underneath. Lateral pass, but Seattle's defense is on top of it. Seattle now on the attack. Look at how careful they are, Liv, off the turn. They don't seem to be in a hurry.
No, not at all. It seems like that they have a plan set in place and they know exactly where they want their players and where the disc is going to go.
Oh, what a grab.
It's a great execution
21, Valpinios saving the day.
Looks like that was a great execution of one of their split stacks.
Great combination underneath by Seattle. Looking downfield, trying to find a receiver. We've got Caitlin Rowling streaking deep. Gonna look him off though, characteristic decision. Oh, what a D! Unbelievable block. Looks like there's gonna be a foul called. Elmi claiming there was a little bit of contact on the play. Looks like Iwamoto might have gotten a piece of her and trying to make that block.
I think the observers are discussing currently. And it looks like the disc is going back.
Kelly Iwamoto, though, with a very athletic play.
That was a very impressive layout D. Hard to tell what was going on from up here.
Seattle back on the attack. Center of the field. Looks like the wide open part of the field is undefended. Give and go combination's not going to work right there. San Diego back on the attack. Iwamoto, who had the defensive stop just now, called back from the foul, initiating the action. Great away pass, and it's able to be brought in.
And it goes up.
Teresa Zettner out to the end zone. It's going to be a bid. Oh,
so
not
close.
Quite. What a bid. What an attempt there.
I think there might be an injury called on the field.
Yeah, Blair Messner with an incredible attempt on that disc. She's going to go off a little shaken up on the play. What a transition attack.
Yeah, that was a great put, but again, it just slight miscommunication and just didn't line up.
Seattle now back in control. Under 5 minutes to go. Seattle still enjoying a 3-1 lead. Moving the disc back and forth. All first quarter so far with no issues. Searching for an outlet there. Another great stop by the Super Bloom. That's Teresa Zettner. Seattle now with the stop.
Wide open catch.
Hannah Kawhi with the stop. Now we're going deep. It's a foot race. Not
Out
meant
of
to
bounds.
be. It's going to streak out of bounds. Just a quick pointer for people watching. It can be easy to take a look at this football turf and think that's the whole playable space. That's not the case. A regulation field is narrower than a football field, so you can see that narrow line of cones and pylons at the top of your screen. That's the true out of bounds line. Back in possession of the disc, San Diego. They're going to try to go for it right away, try to open up some space and break up this defense, but Seattle's not having it. Caitlin Rowling able to bring it in. Elmi. Now to Linnea. Sue. Linnea Sue wants a timeout. Nothing but calculating play on offense for about 80% of the time, Liv.
Right. What do you think that they're potentially going to be discussing here during this timeout? Do you think that they're going to be swapping out any players or just catching their breath?
I have to think the way that Seattle has been playing so far that they're just going to look for a quick release into the end zone.
I agree. They're very much just pick up and get it done type of team.
Well, they're gonna show us by just dump swinging it off of this timeout. I just
Oh
know
yeah.
it, yeah. But I think that's if there's something we're learning about this Seattle team is that they are not impressed by their own downfield cutting, in the sense that they don't fall in love with any option too quick and are content to dump swing it. Are you seeing some of that too?
Yeah, and I've noticed some of these releases on these deep throws, it's hard to tell from up here, but I think the wind is playing a factor in this as well. It's giving a lot of floaty action going on and some weird falls from the disc whenever it comes down.
Yeah, it seems like always opting for these more optimized choices downfield. Discus check back in. Seattle on the attack. IO now to the open side of the field, still searching. Another IO attack. We're still in control on the open side of the field. We're using the same tenth of the field here. Will Seattle swing it? Oh, it's broken up in a crowded room here. A committee meeting in the end zone, and an inside-out pass just isn't going to make it home in that environment.
Pass by Samantha.
Super Bloom back on the attack. Finally able to get a couple in cuts in the row. This one's going to sail high. Can it be brought in? And that's going to be a turnover.
Misread.
Yeah, Lopez for the Super Bloom, not able to get that tall. And Seattle back, bringing it to the open side. And we're going to attack on the open side again. Pass after pass. It looks like somewhat of a release to threaten downfield. And now up line, same tenth of the field here on the bottom of our screen. Swinging it now. Another wide open swing. Seattle starting to operate. Wide open cutters coming underneath here for the Tempest. Give and go. Super quick action. Oh, a miscue. Finally at the end of that sequence. And Kat Chung can't quite get her hands on that one.
I think that they were getting a little too comfortable with their upline give and goes. That one was just too much of a quick release there.
Yeah, Shira Stern doing a good job playing a hitch in that situation and keeping the disc moving. Couldn't quite finish though. 2 minutes remaining here. Score still 3-1. Both teams have fought each other to a standstill over the last couple minutes, although a miscue here.
This has been one long point with a lot of turnovers happening.
Seattle here with a minute and a half to go. Need to put an exclamation point on this quarter. Looking to break the mark, but it's going to be wide open to the open side. Number 14 for Seattle with the goal, Sam Rodenberg.
Looked like that there was a trip in the end zone, which has led that open opportunity there to catch that.
Rodenberg, another player who was just so dominant last year at the Showdown for 2022. Good to see her operating once again. 4-1. You take another look at this goal, Liv. That's Stephanie Lim making that read.
Yes.
Minute 36 on the clock as we adjust the time. Now minute 40. A 3-point deficit for San Diego. And the sun is coming out just a little bit more now. The conditions are going to get a little bit warmer.
I definitely think that's going to change some of the mindset happening here on the field. I'm excited to see Super Bloom, though. I want them to catch up.
Super Bloom here. Those in cuts that had been so open on a few of those earlier sequences don't seem to be open right now. Super Bloom open side, cutting so far, swing. Now we're working on the far side of the field. But now they're going to test the middle. A great read. Is she going to be able to bring it in? Diving attempt by Alex Diaz. Not quite there, another millimeter, and that's an amazing, amazing play.
There are so many downfield looks here that just need one more step ahead of that disc. Great catch.
Seattle back in control. Erickson now operating out of the middle. She's going to test the defense deep, but it's going to be skipped. But a double block here as Seattle's number 23, Drea Baroma, was trying to bring in the loose change. Super Bloom on top of it. Super Bloom now attacking. They will not relent. They've got space. They've got a receiver. It's number 22, Blair Messner. A great run and a great read.
That was a perfect setup, in my opinion. She
Just
had
get the sense that Messner slowed down a little bit, Liv.
That's what I was thinking. She had a lot of steps on her defender, and it just was an easy straight to her hands. And that release was one of the better ones that we have seen just go right where it was supposed to.
Yeah, a very similar play that we saw earlier on the turnover, and let's take a look at it again. Oh, that was the earlier, same strategy, different result.
Great, great bid.
Here's this D. Great defensive sequence here.
That was number 5, Kayla, with the great
Now, here's the Super
D.
Bloom. Same idea, better result. What an epic sequence.
Score is 4-2 Seattle.
Seattle now, they've got an idea. They've seen this before. Making a run. Diving catch attempt. Kaylin Rowling can't quite bring it in.
These players are not holding back whenever they really just want that disc in the end zone and are not just a couple steps behind it.
Oh, you get the sense that in her mind, Rowling caught that. High pressure now. The clock has expired. That means that as soon as there is a turnover, our quarter will be over.
This is Super Bloom's chance to get one more point.
Such a big possession right now. If Super Bloom can bring it within 1 point at the end of this quarter, they'll be breathing a sigh of relief. Careful now. Looks like they're happy to make some handler motion in the middle of the field, and now they're going to gamble. They're going to take a shot.
Just a little bit too hot on that release.
Alemelec can't make the catch. Would have been a phenomenal play.
It looked to be a little bit difficult, but it would have been extremely impressive if that was played out.
Yeah, shading air away from her and a little bit high. End of the first. Seattle 4, San Diego 2. Let's take another look at this one.
Such a close layout.
Yeah, Rowling.
Inches away from the disc.
Great explosion to the disc there. And now let's take a look at the last turnover of the quarter. That's going to wrap up our first quarter. Seattle 4, San Diego 2. After 15 minutes of action, we'll see you on the other side of a break.
It is still anybody's game here.
We're back after one, staring down the second quarter here of a repeat of the championship matchup between the San Diego Super Bloom and the WUL champions of 2022, the Seattle Tempest. So far, this first quarter has seen a lot of turnovers, Liv. What have been your thoughts?
Yeah, I really think that this weather is playing a fact, and just the high pressure of getting right back into this professional ultimate atmosphere, playing these extremely talented and high-level teams, and just getting their mind back in the game. I think that they just need to take a second and focus on their decisions and follow through.
Yeah, Seattle has looked in control, but I don't think I'm stretching too far to say San Diego has looked very dangerous on some sequences here where I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to get 1 or 2 points in a row.
Agreed.
Seattle will pull to start the second quarter. And they're going to bring their defense to start for the first time today. San Diego seems like they've been having a decent amount of success attacking long from the middle of the field.
Yeah, they seem to get a little excited whenever they get bunched up on that 10% of the field you were talking about earlier. Those give and goes, they can be extremely successful, but it only lasts them so long.
Looks like another cloud has rolled in. It feels like the air temperature varies about 5 degrees every 30 seconds.
I'm sure this cooler weather down there probably feels a lot better to them, though.
Seattle pull. San Diego on offense. Looks like number 20, Iwamoto. Nope. That's my misread of the number.
I think you're good to go.
Super Bloom back in the middle of the field.
Recommend holding it like this.
Diaz
Trying to avoid jostling.
Great
down to the open
catch.
side.
The button that you need to use is
Stretching deep now, gonna try for something. It's gonna be a 50-50. It's gonna be defended, but a second chance. Can't quite bring it in.
Looks like there's been a call on the field.
steady and flat. So you look
Diaz with the
here,
first attempt, Messner with the second.
flat. If you do this, it's going to keep it.
Looks like there's not gonna be a call. That contact
If you want to get
incidental.
like angle, you press and hold, and you tilt down, and it'll follow. And then when you go up,
Seattle really diligent about their defense in the end zone here. Looks like they're gonna look to move it
to get it back to flat.
quickly to start, but they're looking bottled up. Another upline cut live. That looks to be their go-to when they're in trouble.
If you accidentally triple tap the trigger, it's going to
Inside out now, heading approaching the middle of the field.
You fix that by
Seattle
triple tapping it again.
scanning, now back to the open side. They've still been on this half of the field so far for this possession. And content to stay there so long as they're open. Another upline cut. A collision here.
contact.
Looks like Iwamoto collided with Rodenberg.
This is what I am afraid of every time I see them bunch up on the side like that. Their give and goes seem to be pretty successful a lot of the time, but on the other side of that, there's just a lot going on and a lot of players and risk of injury and contact.
Seattle will retain possession after that foul call. Swung now, looking down at the break side.
62%. We should probably swap
A little wrap cut behind. They've got wide open in the end zone. Sliding grab by Seattle. Throw away.
It was a great recovery out of the side of the field, but not quite followed through.
Rodenberg fighting so hard in that sequence, but that throw went a little astray.
Probably not.
Now, San Diego back on the attack. 9 minutes, 50 seconds to go. Scores the same, 4-2, Seattle advantage. Big swing across the field, but risky. It's going to sail out of bounds. Pass intended for number 20, Iwamoto. But it's going to end with Seattle back in control of the frisbee.
You press and hold, and then you tilt.
Stephanie Lim now, inside out throw. That's terrific look. In command here, can look either break side or open side.
This is their chance to
Diving attempt by San Diego. Stiff defense here in the end zone now, though. Is anyone open? Yes, there certainly is. And the answer is Shira Stern.
It was a great redemption from that throwaway earlier. They seem to have a really good inside-out flick to get it back into the middle of the field and off that sideline.
Yeah, Lim with a couple pump fakes there, and then in 2 breaths, Stern's wide open. Well, let's take another look. A couple sequences here. Seattle trying to work it in.
Wide open to the end zone. She didn't even have to move.
After a layout, block attempt, and then really tight person defense. Somebody standing as wide open as you can be.
Again, sometimes all it takes is just a deep breath and some patience, and it'll be wide open for you.
I think if you're Seattle, that's especially, sometimes that works for you.
Yeah.
All right, Seattle pulling now. Back on defense. trying to generate another break. 5-2 Seattle. 8:56 to go. Deep shot right away. San Diego doesn't want to mess about. They've got somebody wide open. Did she make it? That's Teresa Zettner. The terrific running grab. She's got to check it in at the border of the end zone. She's got some decision making to make. She can't quite find her dump pass receiver there.
Another great deep look right into the hands. More
Erickson
give and
back
goes.
in the middle, operating more like a point forward here. She's going to test the defense deep. It's going to be no problem. That's going to be a goal. That's Drea Baroma making a terrific release there after she saw Erickson with the disc.
Yeah, it seemed like that she was right in line with that disc. She knew exactly where it was going to be, and she went there and she caught it. I feel like some of these players need that kind of read and speed in their feet to get one step ahead of the disc and be able to just be there to catch it.
Yeah, not the first time we've seen Erickson curl underneath. Let's take a look at this replay. Zettner with such a great grab. Now, what do you think about this? Well, we don't get a chance to take a look at this one, but here's Erickson's shot, Liv.
Easy right into the lap. Made her sit down for it.
Not the most straightforward grab, but she got it anyway. I was saying, not the first time we've seen Erickson kind of curl underneath rather than go deep, but then use her throws instead of using her legs. San Diego now taking a minute. They're down 4 points now, I believe. It's 6-2.
6-2.
This is time for them to think through their approach to this game. Likely needs an adjustment.
I think we'll be seeing a different approach here on their offense.
Liv, what's not working for them right now?
I think a lot of it is just a lot of their high release throws that aren't quite making it to their team members. It seems they either overthrow just a little bit too much, or the disc comes down and the wind kind of carries it to the area of the field that they do not want it to go, and they are not aware that it's going to go there.
Yeah, you get the sense that a lot of away passes today they all have a characteristic shape to them.
Right.
It's kind of high and fading.
High, and it comes right back down. Little bladey. It could be anyone's disc rather than intended to be one person's disc.
San Diego back on the field. See if they can put something together. Start eliminating components of this deficit. Down 4 now. This is not where they want to be. Plenty of game left. 8 minutes in the second. Seattle to pull. Nice distance here on this pull. San Diego working in the middle of the field here. Another attempt deep. Diaz running deep. She goes up. She's got a double-handed. Diaz, what a grab.
And that's exactly what they were looking for there.
You get the sense that she was thinking, get there fast and first, and worry about how I'm going to catch it second.
I think Alex Diaz is one of their players who is a force to be reckoned with sometimes, and they just wanted to throw her out there, tell her to run deep and go catch the disc and give them a goal. And that's exactly what Diaz did.
Great assist from number 46 on San Diego, Dana Elamelech. That's not the first time she's tried to stretch the defense. Tall player like that who can throw is a dangerous weapon. San Diego now putting another point on the board, trying to make something happen on defense. The pull goes up.
6-3 Seattle.
Seattle wasting no time. Quickly now moving it to the outside after spending a brief moment in the middle. Just happy to work that side of the field. Looks like the Super Bloom have changed their force to a backhand force. And Seattle has responded by working on the force side now, except for this inside out throw now. Possibly looking at the break side, back to the open side. But we might see some more of those upline cuts. Here we are.
That's what it's looking like. It seems to be working for them a lot of the time, but I think that they need to tread on their toes.
Wide open combination here. Still content to operate on the open side of the field. Inside out now to the middle, but can't quite
Just a
bring it
fumble.
in. Number 31, Stephanie Lim.
It's a great look.
Right away, the disc is going to go up for San Diego, but it's hanging a little too long. The defense is going to arrive, and a great defensive stop by 44, Abby Abramovich. Just got right up like she knew she was going to get it all along. Now Seattle. Swinging back to the middle of the field. This is the widest field they've worked with in 10 minutes, but it's going to be a diving stop by San Diego. Number 8, Sydney Haranek.
There might be a call on the field. Looks like that they are discussing.
Could there have been contact on the play? Is what they're trying to determine now. Or contact that
San Diego retains possession.
would have been inappropriate at the time. San Diego's got possession. They're picking up. They're going to swing it right away. They want to switch fields. Scanning now. The defense of Seattle so tight. They've lost about 10 yards since getting the frisbee. And here we are. They're going to turn it into a deep shot. It's going deep, stretching long. It's going to be a goal. Number 93, Anna Savinsky.
Wide
exactly
open in
where
the
to
end
be.
zone. They are catching up quick.
Yeah, Pajunas with a beautiful throw. San Diego looked like they were down for the count, that they'd been backed into a corner. And then just like that, beautiful
I think Super
deep throw.
Bloom, after their little rally, that they got some energy back.
There's our layout block. What do you think of that one?
There's definitely some contact in play, but it worked out to their advantage. Number 93, bringing the score to 6-4.
Deficit shrunken by 2. San Diego with a combination of terrific defensive plays and offensive plays. Capped off by Savinsky. Terrific pull. San Diego. They'll play defense now. Alemelec looking more and more comfortable in the wind. Seattle.
Big look here.
They want to take a look at the end zone from this kind
The
of
disc
angle,
is
too.
hanging.
It's hanging for longer than maybe they thought. Can't quite complete that combination.
Seemed to
Francis Gellert.
hang. Seemed to hang just a little longer than anticipated, but also just not quite there.
I think we were all surprised by how long that disc decided to hang. Great idea by Gellert. San Diego back with the disc. Can they make it 3 in a row? It looks like they found something. Underneath open, but another execution error, Liv.
Not quite the right look there.
You think it's maybe too tight of a window?
Yeah, both of these teams tend to like to play on their sidelines without looking for that around dump.
Slicing through the defense with one inside-out throw. And then a narrow window there. A turnover for Seattle. Garrity to be the receiver, but Johnston getting the block. San Diego, another shot. Alemelec swinging out to the sideline. Now back to the middle of the field. San Diego calling a timeout. They know how important this opportunity is. It's 6-4.
I think you're right there. I think that they're going to be discussing some of their strategy, maybe swapping some players out and executing to get this point.
It's just 4.5 minutes to go. They've really come on in the second part of this quarter. If they could shrink the deficit to 1 or even bring it up to a tie, you've got to think that's going to do wonders for morale on that team.
I believe so. I think that this is still anybody's game.
San Diego really, at the beginning of this game, we were talking about how they were working on their in-cuts, and that was looking like they were getting traction there. But the last few successes we've seen, if I'm not mistaken, Liv, have seemed like they've been coming from pressuring the deep space.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of them just going for that release and, knowing that they'll have a cutter there to either receive it or to D it.
Team setting up again after the timeout. We're going to see what kind of play the coaches have in their playbook. Maybe get a quick goal.
It's like they're setting up a vert stack.
Vertical stack. See if that's going to get anything. Seattle just collapsing right on top of that. No easy possessions here for San Diego.
And a fumble.
Another fumble for San Diego. Samantha WUL can't catch that dump pass. They're back on defense. So careful scanning the field there, but that's going to be blocked. Samantha WUL getting it back. Now slicing across the field. Swinging that frisbee. Owamoto
Looking for the dump.
controlling it well. Moving the defense. And they're finding windows where they weren't finding windows before on this sequence. And now, deep into the end zone. It looks like it's going to be defended pretty well. Terrific stop by number 15, Hannah Kawhi. Intended receiver, number 22, Messner, who's had a terrific game so far. But Kawhi, in good position, went up strong for that one.
This would be a call on the play. They swapped out a player here.
Kawhi now bringing it for her team. Seattle's going to have to go the whole distance of the field. They got 3.5 to go. Can they grow their lead? After seeing some pressure, what
a
an
grab.
incredible grab.
Back on the sideline.
Rowling looked 100 feet tall on that play. Seattle now. Uncharacteristic slip of control, but now back to dumping the disc pretty diligently, trying to find some more holes in the San Diego defense. San Diego doing a good job on defense, responding to some of the pressure deep. They've sunken in now. They're going to make Seattle earn it. Seattle's going to test that plan. Is it good?
What
It's
a
good.
grab.
What a grab in traffic. Jennifer Recuarte. For a minute there, it looked like that play was dead on arrival. Recuarte, though.
She did a great job of boxing out her defenders and just being tall.
Great catch there. Seattle now getting a little bit of breathing room after going up.
I think that they were pretty pressured for a little while. Super Bloom was on a roll.
That unbelievable grab by Rowling. And now brought in by Jennifer Recuarte. You know, from the instant replay, it looks like she was on top of it all along. But from up here, it's
hard to
very
tell.
intense. Seattle able to literally claw that point out of the sky and add another to their lead. San Diego trailing late in the second quarter. Can they get another point before half? They've got 2:43 to go. 7-4 Seattle advantage. Looks like a turnover. Disc went out of bounds. Seattle swinging it here. A couple deep looks, but they're content to move it methodically down the field. Back to the middle now. And that I.O. pass, which has just been their friend for cracking this defense today. Throwing on that inside-out angle. Here we are again. Diving attempt at defense, and now it's just going to be pitch and catch.
Easy up the line score for Seattle.
Yeah, Rodenberg able to just outmaneuver the defense there by throwing and going. She's got another goal.
Score is now 8-4 Seattle.
San Diego, do you think they are hitting the panic button right now?
I think that they are going to reconcile and as a team, come up with a different kind of game plan and strategy to attack this disc, defend the disc, and all around great layout D. Just not quite there.
Walter there with the attempt at the block and the dive. But an old school give and go takes the day there.
I think Super Bloom is starting to recognize Seattle's love for the sideline, so they start to crowd and get aggressive on the defense.
Yeah, how many times today have we seen an upline pass or an inside-out pass just off the sideline give them a fresh 7 seconds? Seattle on defense, seeing if they can create a big advantage before the halftime.
Almost wanting that deep look.
They thought about it, another high disc, but Seattle not
Great
able to
recovery.
get the stop there. San Diego swinging across the field. Pair of in cuts, and we've got some motion. Will they do anything with it? See a little bit of fatigue setting in, Liv.
It might be a slip of the disc there, it looked like.
Seattle with the disc again. They just want to see what it's like over there on the other side of the field. It's going to go out of bounds. Not the worst idea to attack right away in this kind of situation. Still a minute to go.
Yeah, I think that the excitement is getting to them a little bit, so they like to pick up and just throw that disc and expect one of their cutters to be there, which they usually are.
Ideally, a play like that yields a decent field position, even if it's a turnover, but exiting out of bounds early for that throw means San Diego's got a nice spot as they center it.
Just around where they dropped it, so it's not too bad.
Another execution error here for San Diego. Their dump set might need a little work at half.
More give and goes.
Seattle now with an execution error. We've got a little over a minute to go in the second half, or in the first half, second quarter. Seattle up. Well, it looks like our broadcast clock is off by a few seconds. We've got 35 seconds left in the entire quarter. It's going to stay a lot of bounds right now.
That looked to go out probably around midfield as well. Not the greatest for Super Bloom.
We talked about fatigue about 30 seconds ago, and it looks like some teams are looking for quick answers. Seattle, just 23 seconds left. Can they close out this half with a goal? Erickson catching, then pitching. More of that effective handler work. That's going to be a turnover. We've got 13 seconds left, and it's going to be San Diego likely. If they don't turn it over in the next 10 seconds, they'll be the ones to decide how this quarter is going to end. What an amazing
Nice
grab
snag
by number 48, Julia Salvation.
Looks to be a call on the play.
Time winding down here in the second quarter. Got to think this is the last possession. Saved by Salvation there. Will the score be 8-5? Or will it remain 8-4?
Just a couple seconds left on the clock to decide what they want to do with this play.
San Diego in motion. Intense pressure on that dump set. They've got to go downfield. Were they able to keep it in?
Observer calls it in.
Kayla Helton makes the save. We're out of time here, so this is the last possession. San Diego working it well now. Just a little bit of confidence. Iwamoto's wide open on the release up line. She's got a great chance looking at the end zone, and it's going to be just knocking on the door.
And a score for Super Bloom.
Brought home. Number 22, Blair Messner, who's been working so hard this quarter.
It's a great comeback, 8-5 now. Still Seattle, but Super Bloom is right on their tails. I think that they're picking up their momentum a little bit more. Putting their foot on the gas pedal and realizing that if they let Seattle take this, that it'll be a lot harder for them to catch up and keep their spirits up.
Yeah, what a very interesting sequence down the stretch of saving it not once but twice from a turnover by San Diego, and then able to just work it to that open or that
Right.
wide or to that open side over on the top of the screen, and then bring it into the end zone. Here we are with some highlights from the first half.
That was the last point caught by number 22.
Yeah, that's going to
Blair.
be Mesner bringing things out to a close for this second quarter of action. Seattle 8, San Diego 5 in a repeat of the championship matchup. We'll see you after half. We're back for a quick minute here at halftime just to go over some of the things that we saw transpire in the first half. I've got to think, Liv, that Seattle's got to be happy with the first half of Frisbee that they played.
Yeah, I think that they're keeping their momentum going. We got some stats going on here. Lots of breaks by Seattle, 4-1 against Super Bloom. Lots of turnovers.
Yeah, I am stunned by the total turnover count in this game thus far.
Yeah, it's making me believe that it is a lot windier down there than it does feel up here. I feel a light breeze every once in a while, which is pretty nice, but it is not working to our players.
Yeah, it's really been
side.
feast or famine for defense, too. I think we've seen incredibly tight sequences. San Diego has hit the deck several times trying to get a defensive stop and has come up with some impressive defensive stops. And Seattle has been able to soar into the air and get some stops as well. But sometimes, Liv, it seems like players are just wide open.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of that stems from some clustering of the sidelines coming from both teams. It maybe is throwing some poachiness because they're just trying to clutter that lane and make a turnover happen. And if they get a break, then there's likely going to be a player wide open to receive that.
Yeah, if you're San Diego right now, you've got to get 3 points back somehow in the next 2 quarters. Liv, what do you think they'll be looking to do as we look at the next break?
We believe that women and non-binary athletes deserve to be seen and our abilities showcased for the world to see.
We believe in perpetuating Ultimate by establishing professional teams and developing future generations of players.
We believe players of all identities and backgrounds deserve an equal opportunity to be recognized and lauded for our achievements in our sport.
We believe
in sustainably and responsibly creating equitable and accessible avenues for women and non-binary athletes to join and participate in our sport.
We believe that being transparent,
open,
and responsive to criticism is critical,
and that there should always be space
to fix our mistakes,
grow, and be better.
We are the Western Ultimate League.
My name is Pam Krause, and I'm coaching Seattle Tempest. I am so excited about the talent that has shown up at our tryouts. I am inspired by the amazing athleticism, the play, the creativity. We are so fortunate to have so much talent to choose from, so I'm very excited about the talent that we're going to get to work with this season and show off to the world what we can do.
I really want to show young girls that they can be athletes too. I've struggled with imposter syndrome, and I've really had to ground myself in why I play. I play because it's fun. I like to compete. I like to show it with my teammates. I like to push myself to be the best. And I think being out there and doing that for them and having other people see and potentially think that, hey, that can be me one day, that's really exciting.
I know I've struggled in my own life to take up space, and I think that it's so amazing that the ultimate field has changed that for me. That I can get out there and I'm no, I know I'm a good cutter and I know what I need to do here and I know my role on the team. And I think that it's just helped me open up so much. It's also led to more confidence for myself, and I really want for other women and non-binary folk to see that, oh, they're out there doing this. How do I get into that? What does that look like? What's my role there?
I really liked a combination of both endurance and shorter, more competitive sprints, and then also going up directly against players. And I think that also is what attracted me to Ultimate as well. Understanding what you're capable of doing is just a really great experience that kind of drives you to just get better at those individual skills in sports.
My Ultimate story, I've been fortunate to have coaches and friends and the community to encourage me to be the player that I am today and ultimately fall in love with the sport of Ultimate. So I hope that the Western Ultimate League, like this program we have today, the Open Side, we continue to connect and welcome new fans and future players and continue growing this community that we all love. I think hopefully one day that someone will fall in love with the sport as much as I love it.
I think that's the biggest thing for me, is just knowing that we're giving an opportunity and visibility to the sport for young women. It's the best thing.
One more time.
Oh,
yeah! Oh yeah!
Baby!
Cody!
Joining you again now for the second half of action between the Seattle Tempest and the San Diego Super Bloom. Liv was an eventful first half, but it looked like Super Bloom seemed to struggle more than Seattle.
Yeah, we have Seattle here coming in on offense momentarily, and I don't think that they're going to hold back. I think Super Bloom is going to really have to fight for this one to stay above the water.
It's gotten cloudier and windier here in Mesa, Arizona as the second half is about to begin.
Doesn't look like it's going to be getting any sunnier either.
Here we are with the beginning of the second half, our rematch of the final
just
from
on
last
the
year's
field.
WUL season. Fresh 12 minutes on the clock. Seattle 8, San Diego 5. With Seattle's Bert Cherry bringing the disc up the field.
Back on the sideline here. Let's see what they do with this.
Seattle scanning downfield. Oh, nifty juke there. Able to get a release into the middle of the field, and they're attacking right away. Seattle happy to lose some yards for now. And now slashing across the field. And back to the middle. Seattle, just a quick combination of passes to make everything happen, and now they're going to soar it into the end zone. Not able to get a hand on it quite, and that's why there's going to be a foul called there. Number 5, Kayla Helton. Potential contact.
Looked like a great opportunity to grab that, but not quite there. But let's see how this outcome turns.
Yeah, Rowling there, thinking that maybe the contact has something to do with her not able to make a play on that on the second attempt. They'll discuss it.
Okay,
Observer will make a
observer
ruling.
Observer ruling is there's no foul.
No foul
so
called.
the turnover here.
That's just good defense. San Diego now with an opportunity to shrink that deficit. Great look across the center of the field for now. And it looks like it's going to be blocked right away by Seattle.
Seattle really, really wanted that that score, so they're here to take it back.
Seattle now very patient, characteristically patient. Hannah Kawhi moving back, and now that gets centered. Now back to the other side of the field. Kawhi searching for an open receiver. Very patient, moving the mark, and it looks like somebody's wide open, running towards us here. It's 32, Linnea Sue, who you get the sense knew her chance was there.
Yeah, you knew that they were glad to get that quick turnaround and actually score.
Sue just waiting there in the stack and then bursting away. Plenty of room to work with.
Should be 9-5 now. Seattle Super Blooms still right on their tails, but have some catching up to do.
Seattle back on defense.
We have that fumble play and the wide open catch to number 32, Sue.
Yeah, this is becoming the story of San Diego for this game, where flashes of brilliance and then too many turnovers on really perfunctory plays.
I think that they are right on the money of what they want to be doing, and almost a little ahead of themselves, but it has been working out.
Seattle on defense, pulling to San Diego. 9:50 to go, third quarter. San Diego now largely unbothered in the middle of the field.
Looks like there's no stall.
Looks like taking a second for Seattle to get their matchup straight. San Diego has no problem with that. They're going to move it down the field. Diaz now catching it on the close sideline on the open side. An upline attack. The disc goes a little high. It's going to be defended well by Seattle.
I think that Diaz just held on to that release just a hair too long, which made it scoop up into the air, and the wind did its thing.
Well, Lozano took care of the rest.
Exactly.
Seattle now looking back towards the middle of the field. They've been so patient when they've been at their best. Doing a good job of operating out of the middle. And now searching downfield. They're going to try for a deep shot. They're outnumbered there. Alemelec not having it.
Seattle trying with all of their effort to get this point.
Yeah, Rodenberg hit the deck trying to make some magic happen. But the pass was too far. San Diego now on the attack. This is Willis. Back to the middle of the field.
And the disc goes up. Could be anyone's disc here.
This is going to be 50-50.
And she makes it happen, number 22.
Number 22, Mesner.
Looks to be a call on the field.
Potential contact on Mesner here. Boy, what an unbelievable grab in traffic by Mesner.
I think they're switching players out here. Could be wrong. Oh, I think she has an injury.
Yeah, that's just going to be, that's got to get cleaned up before she can get back on the field. Terrific catch there to save the play for San Diego. San Diego still with possession as they rotate personnel.
To number 48 is subbing in.
Alemelec pitching it to Iwamoto. Iwamoto looking up line for a minute. Content for the possession. And it's possession. Frisbee they're playing right now until stretching to Alemelec, who's wide open. She's got it. San Diego puts one on the board. 9-6.
Yeah, she has, Ellie has been here for Super Bloom, catching every single thing and saving them for all of their deep throws. She is just always there. I think this is definitely not her first, second, or third score here. I think she has been in the end zone multiple times this afternoon.
We've received a correction that it's Ellie Mellick.
Yes.
Who has been dominating this point, not Alemelec. Excuse me there. Terrific grab there, terrific sequence by San Diego. Let's see what they do this opportunity to play defense. And we're off. Wind picking up here. What a booming pull. Seattle starting deep in their own territory for this one. Unbothered for now, as it seems to be a typical combination of working it up the open side and then back to the middle, but now using a break side more as Erickson catches. Looks like there's a call downfield. There's some question as to how Seattle got that open.
The disc is going back.
Going back to Erickson here.
Nick sends the disc back to the thrower.
There's going to be a pick downfield, which accounts for how one receiver was able to get that free release. Erickson's going to have a fresh look at the field. Another upline opportunity for Seattle. And it's going to be a booming inside-out throw. And it's defended incredibly well. Right time, right place. Garrity almost had it, but San Diego.
See another deep throw here.
Terrific defensive effort. Number 4, Kristen Pajunas.
Falling outside of the bounds of the field.
Now we couldn't see the number from up here, but it looked like Pajunas with the defensive stop, and then Pajunas just breaking downfield trying to make something happen for her team. Incredible effort. Seattle back to their combination in the middle of the field. Let's see if they're able to cash in on this set of turnovers. They're going to make a deep shot.
Another
Seattle's
wide open.
Wide open.
It's number
Leslie
13.
Willis all but walked in there. Garrity saw Willis, and the rest is history. Liv, what do you think of that combination?
I think that they were just connecting down the field. They got that turnover, and there was just a lot going on, a lot of holes, open spaces, and number 13, Gellert, definitely saw an opportunity and just booked it to the end zone.
So yeah, that's my mistake. That's Gellert.
I think her defender was a couple yards away too. She was just all over it, all over the disc for the score. We are 10-6 Seattle. About 6 minutes. Correct me if I'm wrong. About 6 minutes left on the clock.
We've got a 4-point lead. Seattle to San Diego.
Great pull to the
Here
corner
we are
of the
now,
field.
San Diego trying to capitalize on this opportunity. They need points with just 5:47 to go.
I'm seeing some zony action going on here.
Yeah, Seattle hounding the lanes, really forcing San Diego to move it into skinnier spaces, which they appear to be successful with so far.
Looks to be going man again as well.
Iwamoto now sending it to the sideline. And a Walter, now back to the middle. Now it's up. It's a 50-50, and it's going to be a miss.
Super
Teresa
Bloom.
Zettner almost there.
They did not seem too phased by that zone, and it didn't last very long. They quickly switched to man, but unfortunately did not recover in the end zone.
Seattle now with transition style offense, one pass and almost half the field. Off and running. They've got a deep receiver running hard. It's Val Panios, and she's got it on a terrific cut and a head spike.
Seattle just keeps their train rolling.
Panios with a terrific cut. We talked about that panic button for San Diego. Down by 5 with only 4.5 left. Let's take another look at this last play.
Wide open look. Number 21, easy catch in the back left corner of the end zone. Super excited about that one.
Yeah, Rika Erte, too, just drop it right into her hands. When you compare that to how many passes it took to get downfield for Seattle, characteristically, On that sequence, it felt like it only took half a dozen.
Yeah, there wasn't too many give and goes during that one from what we've seen earlier.
Seattle now back on defense, which is exactly where they want to be right now. San Diego trying to make something happen. They're down by 5 with 4:40 to go in the third quarter. Sending it wide. Now further towards the sideline. Nothing happening downfield right now in terms of open receivers for San Diego. They're losing yards and they're swinging it. Let's see if they're able to turn that into something where they're going to get some downfield gain.
Seattle
Time is not their friend.
throwing some fierce defense.
Looking downfield, everyone is covered.
Great break throw by number 20.
Finally, a little daylight. They're able to make something happen. A combination, now momentum developing downfield. Diaz has the disc. She's got a player streaking, number 22, Blair Messner. She's got it!
Messner on the goal, give the assist to Diaz. 11-7.
Diaz to Messner.
11-7. Super Bloom still holding on by a thread.
The tempo was so slow until it was not. Take a look at this one again.
Great layout D and attempt.
Oh, here's the previous. Yeah, this is film from earlier in the game. We can still appreciate some of what Seattle has been up to in this game, even though the last sequence was all San Diego. San Diego now looking for a quick stop. Every team wants to score, but if you're San Diego, you want to score fast.
Great pull by number 47, Penny Wu.
San Diego now closing in on the lanes. Seattle pressuring deep right away. They're not going to let them sit in the lanes and put pressure on them. Seattle's just going to send a person deep every time. Erickson now out wide.
Throwing a backhand force here. Doesn't seem to phase Seattle.
Seattle moving it downfield pretty routinely. Inside out, opportunity, it's going to be intercepted. San Diego back on the attack. They'll be looking to transition. There's a lot of daylight now in between Seattle players and San Diego players downfield. This is an opportunity for San Diego as they make it nearly to the 40-yard line. San Diego now boosting it deep.
What a great throw.
It's a high pass. It's going to be a 50-50. Who will come down with it? No one will come down with it. The wind prevails in this particular sequence as Seattle is back on the attack. Back in the middle for Seattle. San Diego now trying to get their bearings. They better do it quick. Going to Erickson in the end zone. Routine for Erickson, who sprinted into the deep space and caught the eye of her teammate.
Should be 12-7 Seattle. Not much left on the clock in this quarter.
Val Pinillos with the assist there. Take another look at it.
What a great look. And wide open, number 18, Jamie Erickson.
Yeah, that's actually Kawhi. Kawhi with the assist, as it's clear that I need new glasses. Erickson with another bucket. And Seattle now in complete control of this game.
Both of these teams here look to be very height advantageous here. Very tall teams out.
San Diego now is going to need to generate some offense in not very much time. The 5-point deficit and 2:50 to go in the third quarter.
We've seen some catch up towards the end of the clock. Hopeful to see some more here.
San Diego now with the disc. Maneuvering backfield, trying to get it around Seattle. Hunting downfield wide open now. San Diego trying for something deep. It looks like it's going to be out of bounds. A terrific diving catch attempt by Pajunas. Can't bring it in. Liv, San Diego with those short combinations followed by a deep shot has worked for them before. At times they've been molecules off. Now they've been yards off.
Right. I think that they need to fine-tune their defense here so they can get one or two more shots before the end of this quarter.
Seattle back in control. Catching traffic. Seattle now sending it deep into space.
Wide open number 2.
Yeah, Rico Urte, who's so dangerous downfield, is now just playing transition, pitch and catch. Rico Urte now unabated into the end zone, but the pass is low. San Diego will live another day. They've got a minute and a half to put one in.
With a whole field to work with.
1 minute, 38 seconds remaining in the quarter.
Defense is tight. Pass out wide. San Diego, not a lot of options, but a short gainer. San Diego now fighting for the middle of the field. Nothing happening deep, but another catch underneath for San Diego Super Bloom. That's Teresa Zettner now, who's going to pitch it backward to Iwamoto. Again, just looking for some kind of position where they can get behind that defense of Seattle, and they've gotten behind it right now. Dive and catch attempt.
I think there's a call on the field here. Injury call. We'll be swapping out number 37, Walter.
You know, Walter almost there for that catch. Hit the turf a little too hard, it seems like. Almost got behind that defense. San Diego back on defense, and there's going to be another stoppage of play. It's going to be a timeout for Seattle. They want to close out this quarter strong. They're going to think about it. Liv, what are you seeing out of San Diego that's got to change if they want to have a chance at this game?
I think that they are definitely trying to play catch-up and little just on the edge of their seats whether or not that they can make this happen or not. I think that they really need to tighten up their D, get this turnover, and do what they did at the end of the last quarter and score a point.
Yeah, Seattle's doing a really good job of putting pressure on them early in the possession and interfering with that handler set. San Diego seems like they're getting a little bit more action as soon as they're able to get it into the middle of the field after a couple passes.
Yeah, they have some really great deep throw looks. Almost there, but not quite. They just need to fine-tune and take account into what these weather conditions are doing to their throws.
It's a windy day for Arizona.
That's true.
But that doesn't change the fact that it does seem to be altering the trajectory of a lot of these passes, especially the deep ones. How many sure things have we seen turn into 50-50s just on account of the breeze?
There have been numerous just discs hanging there in the air. It's hard to tell who can go up there, grab it. Most of the time, it has been a result of a turnover.
That's definitely Phillips now picking up the disc. She's going to send it wide. Going to try to operate a little bit more on the sideline, Gellert. She's able to get a dump pass off, but it's not completed. Terrific pressure there by San Diego.
Let's see.
This is exactly what they're looking for in this moment. Can they get a quick one?
See if they can
Iwamoto
do
on
it
the
here.
goal line. Looking break side.
And a miss.
A diving catch attempt. Can't quite by 46. Malecki.
Only have about half a minute left on the clock. High release again. Super Bloom looks like that they have another shot at this.
Super Bloom now looking to center it. Seattle defense, Erickson's right there. But Seattle now back in the middle of the field. That's going to be a hand block for number 24, Cheryl Sue, turning the tide on this possession.
There's a lot of pressure happening within these last moments of this point. There has been about 3 turnovers within the last 30 seconds.
Erickson fighting hard.
Third quarter will end after this possession.
And not to be for that deep shot by Erickson, who made a difficult catch and just decided she was going to put it in the end zone.
And that is the end of the third quarter.
We're going to stop for a minute. There's been a call. Looks like there's some discussion, but no call. surrounding that final attempt on the end zone by Erickson. So here we go with a real turn of events where Elimelech dives and tries to catch it on the break side, and then Seattle's able to turn that into a shot on goal.
It just slipped out of Super Bloom's hand. They almost did what they did in the last ending of the quarter. 12-7 Seattle.
San Diego has a lot of thinking to do and a lot of effort to give. They've got a 5-point deficit at the end of the third quarter.
But can they make that up in this last quarter?
They've shown moments of explosiveness, but we're going to see just how well their execution is down the stretch. We're going to find out in the fourth quarter as Seattle is 12, advantaged to 7. Here's that final play where we went from a San Diego opportunity. Some San Diego frowns. And we're back for the fourth quarter on a choppy day here in Mesa, Arizona at Jesse Parker Field. The first game of the Sidewinders Showdown, the whole weekend of Western Ultimate League Frisbee ahead of us. Seattle on top, 12-7 against the San Diego Super Bloom. Liv, a turbulent end to that third quarter.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how unpredictable a lot of these plays are playing out. You just don't expect some Ds happening here and there and quick turnovers, and it's keeping us on the edge of our seat.
I've been shocked by how many point blocks on the mark Seattle has been able to generate against San Diego. They've been really putting in work on the mark.
Makes me wonder what Super Bloom has got up their sleeve here. Maybe they're going to pull out any of their secrets, threats, players, anything to help them gain a couple more points.
Yeah, you noted a switch to the backhand force, which seemed to give them some momentary traction, but Seattle picking up where they left off now and enjoying a healthy advantage. Seattle on defense. The name of the game now, with 12 minutes to go in the game, is for San Diego to put as many points on the board, which is obvious, but the amount of time is critical for them right now. They can't afford to play a lot of defense. And here we are. Fourth quarter begins.
Looks like a vert stack coming from Super Bloom.
Great break throw by Elimelech to Diaz.
Looking for that continuation.
Diaz now releasing into the space and then back on the break side. Diaz really dominating over there on the break side for a minute, helping our team move it down the field in chunks. Messner back to the middle. Upline cut, but underthrown. Was there contact on the throw?
Looks to be a call on the play.
We'll find out. Looks like Chung and Iwamoto are going to talk about it. Actually, that's Lozano.
Okay. Can I just go to the observer just because? Sorry, I just...
Sure. So observer ruling is it was a foul. We're coming in here on one.
Foul has been called.
Pre-stall,
Disc
4,
returns to Super
3,
Bloom.
Lozano,
2.
who's been playing great defense here. Had a little contact here on the disc. He's going back to San Diego. San Diego upline sequence, and they're looking at an end zone. Wide open on the break side. They're going to move it there with an IO pass, and now around, knocking on the door of the end zone here. Messner looking back towards the middle. San Diego needs something.
Looked to be a victim of
It looks like a timeout was called from the sideline.
From a high stall count.
Yeah, Messner in terrific position there, but the defense downfield was so intense that she ran out of clock pretty fast.
She didn't look to have a whole lot of open options either, so that quick high release was the last possible option that it seemed like that she had for herself.
A race down the break side for San Diego, now knocking on the door of the end zone into a timeout. Conversion out of timeout for San Diego. Last time it didn't work so well.
We'll see what they have planned here shortly.
Timeout at 10:40 here, 12-7, Seattle, San Diego. San Diego trying to make something happen, and not very much time.
All right, it looks like Super Bloom is setting up a vert stack here with an ISO at the top.
Here we are with San Diego. Ellie Mellick in control here, sliding a little bit on the turf, but looking for her teammate. Going to be a quick grab.
That
and a great little flip pass there to Kayla Helton.
That's Ella Merrick on the assist.
San Diego, an impressive answer here. And not very much time. 90 seconds for 1 point.
Great.
They can do it.
12-8 now, Seattle. 4-point difference. Let's see if Seattle, or if Super Bloom could do it again.
San Diego to take their position on defense. We'll see what they come down with.
This is Super Bloom's last about 10 minutes to really make a comeback here. It is only a 4-point difference, so I think it is still entirely possible. Probably pulling out some of their biggest threat of the players.
Yeah, at about 90 seconds per point, if we do the math, might be just enough. Can they maintain this pace? San Diego running down on defense. San Diego trying to crowd the lanes here, but finding those open side spaces as they have so far. Seattle all the way down to the 30, and now they're going to send it to the end zone to Erickson. Erickson runs out of real estate.
I think that they fell victim again to being on the sideline and not having a whole lot of room to work with there.
Yeah, Erickson's about as good a receiver as any in the league, but she can't make 10 yards of grass appear in front of her. San Diego now back on the attack. They had great success on the break side in the last possession. Let's see what they decide to do with it here. Combination of in-cuts here. It's really every other on this possession as Ellie Mellick tries to make something happen off a pass, but Brittany Cabriales
wasting no time.
San Diego attacking again. Back to Brittany Cabriales, who was really every other on that last one, kind of holding the offense together for that sequence. San Diego needs points. They need them quick. Seattle happy to make sure that they're only going to get 5-yard gainers one at a time every 5 seconds.
Not a lot of options here.
San Diego running out of time. That's going to be a terrific grab by the Seattle defense. Seattle now going to turn defense into offense, and it's Erickson who's able to bring it in.
I feel like once Erickson, number 18, is in the end zone, has a couple yards on her defender, there's really nothing to stop her.
Yeah, Sue saw Erickson, and that decision was an easy one to make at that point. Seattle turning that turnover into points and not very much time. Let's take another look at this one. You know, Liv, we talked about the disc sailing and taking weird shapes sometimes today, but that one looked about spot on, huh?
Yeah, that one worked mostly in their favor. It was a very beautiful execution and easy catch.
Seattle now back in their favored place right now as we take a look at Erickson's stat line. 4 goals, block, and an assist. And still much of another quarter to play. San Diego picking up on the 40-yard line here.
Nice snag, very close call there.
Moving back out to the, looks like some zone-y work here as they move away from person defense, Seattle here. 2 chasers, foiled by San Diego though as they punch through the open space. Now a lateral pass, will it be completed? A diving catch and terrific work by Iwamoto, who's keeping this play alive. Really working through the zone, those handlers on the San Diego side, just slashing through the open spaces.
Yeah, San Diego does not seem to be having any issues here breaking this this zone defense.
Going to be a pass to the outside.
And an
Diaz.
easy score.
Beautiful touch pass there by Kayla Helton.
Seems like anytime Seattle throws a zone defense on San Diego is unfazed and usually breaks that very quickly.
The slashing cuts by those handlers made short work of the crowded spaces they were trying to create.
There was a great about a 20 or 30 yard break straight through a hole, which led them to their score.
Yeah, as we get a look at Iwamoto's diving grab, which is worth a point at this phase in the game. Direct translation from that play into points on the board. San Diego's going to see if they can come up with a stop, which so far has really eluded them in this game. As we take a look at Diaz's stat sheet with 2 goals, an assist and a block. San Diego now, if they're going to make a run, they need to do it now. Game is not out of reach.
I think they're starting to get back on their train roll, trying to keep their momentum going.
They need 4 points. Seattle, will they play their game, or will they come apart in the final minutes of this quarter? So far in control, back to the middle.
It is 13-9 Seattle. Still
Here
a 4
we
point
are
difference.
with another shot at the end zone, and it's
Make that
very
14-9.
routine at this point if we're going to see Stephanie Lim throw to Sam Rodenberg.
Seattle 14, San Diego 9, 7:23 remaining.
What a terrific technical sequence.
About 7.5 minutes left of this last quarter here.
Let's take another look at this one.
Just an easy throw to number 14, Sam Rodenberg.
Yeah, you get the sense as soon as Lim caught it, she knew exactly where the disc needed to go. That was just a very technical closure to that sequence.
Super Bloom finds himself back at a 5-point differential. Not much time left on the clock. See if they do pull out anything that they've been hiding away or not.
Lim has had such a good game so far in how she has controlled. We don't have a look at her stat line right now, but she has just controlled the field so well. And we get to appreciate it in highlight moments like that last one. Here we are, San Diego. Trying to make something happen fast. Seattle answers with zone coverage. Erickson with the block.
Nice.
Erickson on the D.
Erickson runs right to the end zone. And now Seattle's on the attack, trying to take care of those transition spaces, and it's just going to be
a score for
an
number
easy
13.
flip to Francis Geller.
Give the assist to Phillips.
Phillips with the assist, Geller with the goal.
It's not Geller's first goal of the afternoon either.
There were so many kind of big spaces on that transition attack for San Diego when they were trying to defend.
If we take
Might
a
get
look
at some of
here,
them here.
great hand block for D by number 13.
Yeah, wide open players for
Or
Seattle.
number 18.
You get the sense,
Catch by 13.
Liv, that some of these San Diego players are starting to fatigue?
I think so. I think they're having probably a little bit of a hard time keeping their chins up, but I don't know, they might surprise us. Seattle seems very comfortable in their position.
San Diego receiving.
Hopefully Seattle doesn't get too comfortable though.
Right. Seattle now to pull. 16-9, advantage Seattle. 6 minutes, 50 to go in the fourth quarter. Couple upfield gainers now early in the possession. And now San Diego's just going to try to swing the disc, see if they can find some holes in this Seattle defense. Iwamoto, who's been terrific today.
Super Bloom, again, unfazed by this, this cup zone. Lots of crowding.
Oh, what a nifty throw, but it's not completed. It's defended incredibly well by Seattle's Hana Kawai.
Oh.
That pass thrown a little low by Seattle, who saw a
The
great
win.
transition opportunity.
Oh, injury called on the field by number
Linnea
32.
Sue couldn't quite scoop it off the turf, and looks like she's going to come off for a minute.
Subbing for number 20, subbing in number 28. Leah Baron Simmons.
San Diego back on the attack. They've made great progress up the field so far.
Nice find in the cup.
A couple times it looks like they've run out of clock. And then we get 50-50s like this one, but Diaz is able to save it. She's off and running. Making a quick pass here, and now San Diego looks like they're in control. Back to Iwamoto in the middle of the field. She's going to look for something downfield, streaking upfield is her teammate, who's now going to test it on the other side. Io high and booming.
It was a great grab
Yeah,
by
brought
number
in
1.
by Teresa. No, that one's brought in by Brittany Cabriales, who's keeping this one alive. Iwamoto to Cabriales now. Cabriales, as she has before, kind of holding some of these possessions together. And now it looks like an easy pass to Diaz, who made
In
it
for
look
the
easier
goal.
than perhaps it ought to have.
Bringing them to 16-10. Seattle.
Yeah, Diaz had a few millimeters of end zone to work with after she got open, but she got open by a good step. Great work in the backfield there by Iwamoto and Cabriales. Let's take another look at this play, as we just see Diaz make light work of that opportunity.
Diaz seems to be very good at getting open and just being exactly where they need to be.
Yeah, Diaz 3 goals, 1 assist, only 1 turnover today. Liv, you talked at the top of the broadcast about how Super Bloom was able to stay with Seattle. Matchups like Diaz are ones that are going to keep you competitive, no matter how good the other team is.
Yeah, Diaz is not afraid to get herself out there and really put some pressure on all of her defenders and stuff like that. And really, she's just, like I said before, a force to be reckoned with.
16-10, Seattle's advantage. 4:52 to go in the 4th quarter. Seattle with the disc.
And a misread.
And a quick turnover on that dump set. San Diego's got a chance here. They've got it in the middle of the field. They've got it on the other half of the attacking end zone. They've got an opportunity here as the disc is centered and then recovered
by number
by
6.
Deanna Abrams. Abrams now dumping it off. Can San Diego find some points, and can they find them quick? It's up and over the defense, but it's going to be a
timeout call.
Timeout before that attempt. I was excited to see how that one might
I
have
know, it
ended
looked
had
like
there
that
not
she
been a
was
timeout call.
right there to catch it.
You think blockade-style defense by Seattle, the only answer is a high-release forehand bang on into the end zone.
Yeah.
Would have liked to see how that would have sorted out. 16-10 Seattle as we go into a timeout. Liv, what do you think San Diego is going to try to do here?
Honestly, probably just fine-tune their, whenever they're looking down for their cutters, they tend to high release and just boost their disc down into the end zone, and it's not always in their favor, but all they really need to do is make some more connections, communication on the field, and go into their execution mode and get it done.
I get the sense that even a 10% better chance on some of these away passes would be worth at least 3 points on the scoreboard. Right?
Yeah.
Here we are, San Diego picking up the disc, 4:16 to go in the quarter. They've got a significant amount of field to go.
Setting up a vert stack for us.
Got Penny Wu with the disc now. She sees Iwamoto, who's able to keep it under control. And then WUL is able to grab it right-handed. She keeps the play alive. Now WUL out to the sideline. And it's going to be kick blocked.
First kick block of the evening as far as I'm concerned.
Drea Baroma felt the momentum and got her foot up. Stopped that play cold. Seattle now on the attack. 16-10, 3:48 to go. Big wide swing pass. Seattle content to control things for now. They don't need to score in a hurry. A little high now on that transition attack, and it's going to be hauled in.
What
An
a great
incredible second
recovery.
effort, but it's out of bounds. But can you believe the grab by Drea Baroma after just getting that kick block? San Diego, can they match this intensity? Seattle hasn't cooled down now that there's a lead in fading time. They've turned things up. How does San Diego respond? Now to the break side. They've seen some success there. They've got plenty of field to go. Nifty IO pass, and now into the end zone, almost there. San Diego looking to make something happen now, and who else but Diaz?
Diaz once again, assisted by number 99, Lexa.
Yeah, Stamba kind of felt for when Diaz was going to deliver for her and just flipped it right into the breadbasket. All right, making things slightly interesting. We've got 16-10.
I believe 11 now. That brings Super Bloom to 11.
As our scoreboard updates here, we've got Seattle 16, San Diego 11, a deficit of 5 points with only 2.5
Just a couple minutes
to
left.
go. There's going to have to be some sort of surge for San Diego to bring things this close. But San Diego's playing for more than just trying to win this game. They're a team that has fought Seattle really hard, and almost harder than anybody in the league. They still got a lot to play for in what they want to demonstrate, and maybe some things that they want to show to one another, Liv.
Right. I'm interested to see how the rest of this season unfolds and just how they keep their momentum towards the top of the league.
Yeah, this is the second place team in the league right now, and we expect them to do stuff like this, which is
Looks like the pool.
we want the disc back as quick as possible.
The
Come to
pool
us.
left the field fairly early on.
Yeah, you get the sense that they're shaving seconds now. Try to get that out of bounds.
So Seattle has the advantage here.
Here we are now, Seattle swinging back. Anna Kawhi, who's also had a terrific game today. Finding those characteristic Seattle upline wins now. Another pass to the same space.
More sideline.
Elmi now trying for the assist, and it's a little short.
Nice D by number 22.
Now that's Messner, who's been all over the place today with a terrific game. San Diego now on their own end zone.
Nice upline grab. Number
Here we are.
25.
San Diego moving it laterally, trying to turn that lateral momentum into something that'll go north-south. Looks like they've got something going. They're able to move it back to the middle of the field. And now just a narrow miss on a swing pass, which unfortunately has been the story of a lot of their turnovers today. Seattle back in control. Seattle now catching wide open spaces. Another inside-out pass to Kawhi. Kawhi flipping it for a goal.
Number 32.
We've got Linnea Sue, who knew that Kawhi has that flip pass and just ran into the space anticipating it. These Seattle players seem to know exactly where the frisbee is going to go.
Seems like that they have a communication style and just chemistry overall still lingering from last year.
1 minute to go now.
16-11, if I'm not mistaken. Might be
Let's take a look at
this replay.
Yeah, you get the sense that the inside-out angles that Seattle is able to generate keeps those defenders guessing. So it's upline, inside, upline, inside. And now punctuated by that last sequence with Sue cashing in. Seattle back on defense.
Disc really hanging in the air right there, landing around 45-yard line.
A nice reminder of the conditions.
Exactly.
San Diego searching for something. They've got it right through the defense. Narrow window, but they'll make it work. Running now. It's a clean release downfield to number 5, Kayla Helton. She's running. She's got it. Unbelievable play by Helton.
Looks like it was coming in extremely hot, but the wind came into their favor at that point and let it hang in there for an extra second or two for number 5 to come catch and make a score.
Last minute acceleration, turning it into a clap catch. Great explosiveness by Helton. 16-12.
Still, they're back at a 4-point difference, and they're really, really kicking the ball and trying to keep it rolling.
Yeah, and you can just see some of the fatigue in these players. You can see Helton dig to make that goal happen. What a terrific sequence there by San Diego. It's a reminder of how potent this team is. Helton's stat line on the screen now. Gaudy numbers here for a terrific day.
Number 46 for the pool.
Ellie Melik, who's had great throws all day. As San Diego tries to get a quick stop, they've got 40 seconds to go and they're down by 4. Seattle back in the middle to Erickson, who is going to test the defense deep, and she's found a big gap. Number 23, Drea Baroma.
Very quick sequence of events that happened there. I think that they just decided.
One of these players that has just been such a difficult matchup.
I think that they decided it was time to get back into that comfortable 5-point difference. Should be 17-12 Seattle.
Yeah, let's take another look at this play. Watching
Nice,
that one
easy.
develop, we could just see Baroma release from the back line.
Without a second thought, and landed perfectly where she wanted it. A little close to the goalpost.
Yeah, she read it well. She read it well. Not easy running full speed at a bright yellow monument, right? All right. 26 seconds to go. Seattle pulling to San Diego.
Let's see how Super Bloom uses this shorter pool to their advantage.
They're still playing for something. They're still the second place team in the league. They are capable, and let's see if they demonstrate it.
Nice
Moving
find
around
to Diaz.
the zone to Diaz. That is a huge gain. And now zipping up line, wide open.
Number 22.
Mesner.
Again. Been seeing a lot from Diaz, too. Diaz and Mesner.
Boy, the speed on Mesner to make that upline cut happen.
Especially with how fast that disc looked like it was zooming into the end zone.
And it looks like, as we watch our clock is not at 0 until the next poll, as we get another look at this one.
Oh, and that was Helton with the assist.
Just seconds left on the clock. We'll be winding it back. It'll expire as soon as it's pulled. So that we're looking at the last possession of the game. San Diego has to be frustrated by some of these turnovers, but
Unfortunately, a lot of this ends up being not 100% in their control either.
a delay of game called on the field as we'll reposition. Liv, San Diego's got to be frustrated by some of these turnovers, but they've got to be happy with some takeaways here, yeah?
Yeah, I really think so. I think that they've had a lot of really, really good connections between each other, and their chemistry is obviously showing between a bunch of their different players whenever they meet with the goal in the end zone or get that really nice block on the field and just pick it up, quick turn, and go for it. They definitely don't waste their time.
San Diego will be working on a number of delay of game penalties here.
We taking this play.
And they're just going to be happy to start the clock here. And that's it for time. And Seattle's just happy to dump it into the turf and walk away with a win, their first win of the season. They've never been beaten. Seattle wins 17-13 in a windy and turnover-full game, Liv, but one that wasn't without its really incredible moments.
Yeah, I think that they're definitely extremely excited to continue holding their championship title, their first win of the season. They're definitely going to be a team that is going to throw a lot of challenges at all the other teams in the league.
Yeah, Kawhi, Baroma, just really great work there. Occasional kind of defensive stops by players like Lozano. Sue also providing some reliable offense. And then, you know, Erickson, of course, who just seemed to command the middle of the field and operate out of there almost like a point forward. Really impressive stuff.
Yeah, it really seemed like that the team worked together like to their fullest, and not a single player that was out there was not utilized to their full potential. I think they all equally made such an impact on this game.
We're going to take a look at some of we've been talking about offense, but when we're thinking about our play of the game, it's going to be all defense. We're going to be looking at Sue's block.
Hand block.
24. This is our Discraft play of the game. Cheryl
Another
Sue.
angle here and straight into the turf.
The reflexes there and a complete shutdown of that particular sequence for San Diego. I think, you know, looking back on it now, that really slammed the door shut.
Right.
As we take a look at our game stats for this 17-13
Equal
Seattle
amount
win.
of holds.
The turnover numbers live.
They're very close to each other, and it still just proves that the conditions here were probably a major factor in a lot of these turnovers and what has happened because of them.
Yep. Yeah, over 70 turnovers, but those defensive conversions seemed like they really were important for Seattle to take care of business here. Not a lot of break chances, or about equal break chances, but those cash-ins for Seattle, those made the difference. A terrific contest so far to start. We can see a lot of excitement on the side of both teams. Liv, if you're Seattle, what are you thinking leaving this game?
I'm honestly, I would be extremely excited and happy, but most importantly, I would just want to push forward and continue doing what we've been doing.
We'll be wrapping up now as we take a snapshot of some of the highlights of the game after this convincing Seattle win behind an ensemble cast of dominant players. We get a great preview into what we're going to see for the rest of the season. There's that play of the game by Sue again, shutting things down. This is a terrific grab by Iwamoto, Liv.
Very impressive and straight to pick up and continue throughout.
Some of those offensive sequences by Seattle looked pretty casual, even as they were technical and highly skilled.
Yeah, we'll be getting ready for our next game very shortly.
And here we are with the end. Seattle 17, Super Bloom 13 on the kickoff of the season Sidewinders Showdown. We'll see you in the next game.